This is your New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom 13 in Tokyo Dome review, my overall thoughts on the show. It took place literally yesterday, January the 4th. It is now January the 5th. I was not able to watch the show live with everyone else on New Japan World or on Fight.tv, wherever you watch the show. Shout out to everyone out there who actually were able to watch the show live at 3 in the morning here in the East Coast, and then actually went to work or went to school once the show ended. Because I'll be real about it, if I was one of those people that actually stayed up all night on coffee and energy drinks or on weed, what have you, I would have not gone to work. I would have just called out and just slept the whole day after. But I unfortunately was not able to watch it live. I had to go to work, so I was not able to watch it live like everyone else. I caught the replay on New Japan World. I watched it in English. And overall, I thought the show, honestly, was a very, very enjoyable show. Is it considered the show of the year right now? I mean, we'll have to wait and see what happens, what the whole year has to give when it comes to professional wrestling. What other companies will come out with bangers, if you will. But overall, I did enjoy myself watching Wrestle Kingdom. But as always, I want from you guys in the comments below. Give me your thoughts on Wrestle Kingdom 13. If you liked the show, if you didn't like the show, what was your favorite match and all that fun stuff. And I'm going to say this too. It looked like the entire Elite got swept. That's all I'm going to say right now on that too. So I did watch the pre-show match. It was a battle. It was not even a battle royal. Like usually every other year, they do like a New Japan Rumble. They bring out the legends from the past, what have you. This year, though, they did a 6-man gauntlet match where the winners would go on to New Year's Dash, which is today, actually, in a couple of hours, and they would get a shot at the Never Open 6-man Tag Team Championships, right? So the winners of this match were the most violent players of Togi Makabe, Toriano, and Ryusuke Taguchi. They beat the likes of Eugene Nagata, Jeff Cobb, Dave Finlay. They beat Chaos's Hiroki Goto, Beretta, and Chucky T. And they beat Suzuki Gun, Minoru Suzuki, Lance Archer, Dave Boy Smith, and then the elites of Hangman Page, Yujiro Takahashi, and Marty Scurll. Throughout this match, put it this way though, the Elite were the first one eliminated, right? And in their elimination, there was a miscommunication, I believe, with Chase Owens. It led to like them arguing at the end of it, the whole thing. So we're seeing the splits, if you will, of the Elite and all that stuff. So that being said, again, this match honestly was just to get through the show. All right, the kickoff show, whatever. Let's be real about it. No one really never cares about the Never Open 6-person tag belts. It changes hands literally every single time. It's probably changing hands tonight. Who the fuck knows? But that was that. The good kick off the show. I just find it weird, though, that Hiroki Goto, Minoru Suzuki were in this pre-show match. It just felt very... Even someone like Marty Scurll, I said this in my predictions. It's crazy to think these guys were in big profile matches last Wrestle Kingdom, and now they're relegated to the kickoff show. Kind of weird, but it is what it is. We had the first match of the night. We had Kota Ibushi defending the Never Openweight Championship versus Will Ospreay. This was being called as the Dream Match. Will Ospreay facing his idol being Kota Ibushi. And I thought overall, did it live up to the whole Dream Match? Honestly, no, in my opinion. I'm not saying it was a bad match. I thought overall it was a very good match to kick off the show. Both of these guys went out there. They beat the fuck out of each other. Yeah, there are some flip spots here, the spot monkey fist spots, if you will. But again, you got to expect this from both these guys here. And a lot of good near falls here. There's a moment where I want to say where was it Kota Ibushi went for like a moonsault outside the ring. And as he's in midair, Will Ospreay kicks him in the chest. And that visual looks very, very gross. It looked very gross to see. 6-2, he got a good spot, whatever. But other than that, it was a crazy back and forth match. And I'll be honest, I thought Kota Ibushi was going to win. I literally thought Kota Ibushi was going to win this match. Because it's Kota Ibushi. Let's be real about it, okay? And I was wrong. Will Ospreay ended up getting the win. He hit the Stormbreaker on Ibushi. And it's crazy too. There's a spot also in the match where Ibushi is literally lying there, right? He's on his knees. And Ospreay hits him in the back of his head with an elbow. It looked like from that, Ibushi got a concussion. Because he had to get stretchered out and all that stuff. So, yeah, Will Ospreay got the win. He is now the new never openweight champion. And now his goal is to, see the junior heavyweights face the heavyweights. He wants this belt to, be what it was supposed to be originally. No weight limits. Where the junior heavyweights can compete with the heavyweights. Let's see if that happens or not. I would not be surprised, though, if the title could just hand somewhere down the road before. But maybe at the next pay-per-view, we'll see. But other than that, so I'm going to say this, too. I really wish New Japan, and this is just me, of course, they really start taking care of their belts. Okay, if you look at the never openweight title right now, one of the side plates is about to come off the strap. Like, come on, New Japan. Seriously. Get it together, okay, when it comes to your titles. Other than that, too, we also heard that the G1 coming up in 2019 will kick off in America. It'll be starting off in Dallas, Texas, I believe sometime in June or May, one or the other. That's huge. That's awesome. That they're going to start touring arenas. Obviously, they're going to come to Madison Square Garden. Also, Wrestle Kingdom next year will be a 2-day event. That's going to be crazy when you think about it, right? But we'll see how that goes as well. We get the triple threat for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles. We have from LiJ, Bushi and Shingo versus Suzuki Goons, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and El Desperado, who I find very, very interesting to see. And Roppongi 3K, Sho and Yo. This match, honestly, I felt like they tried. The crowd really wasn't into this match. Again, they were worn out from Will Ospreay versus Kota Ibushi. But I'll say this, though. To me, who stood out the most in this match was Shingo. Shingo, who is wrestling as a junior heavyweight, can easily pass off as a heavyweight. Not a doubt in my mind. He is obviously someone to look out for in the future. I know he did stuff in Dragon Gate and also on the independent circuit here as well. But that being said, though, I would not be surprised if someone like him could eventually compete for the never openweight title, or if not, by the end of the year, become an Intercontinental Champion. It can happen. We'll see how things go. But again, to me, the MVP of this match was Shingo. He was the one that got the win for his team. He hit the last of the Dragon, which was formerly known as the last Falconry, where he got the win for his team eventually here, right? They pinned Roppongi 3K, so there you go with that. We get the third match on the show. We had Zack Sabre Jr. versus Tomohiro Ishii to crown the British heavyweight champion. They had the president of Rev Pro come out with the new title. And overall, I thought it was a very fun match. It was back and forth. Just crazy counters here. Everything that Zack Sabre tried to do here, counter into a submission. And it looked like he was having his way too. There was a moment I want to say where they go for like a suplex, and Zack Sabre Jr. like he held on, right, and got into like a guillotine choke or a triangle or one of the leg locks, whatever it was. And it was literally Zack Sabre Jr. just sticking to his game plan, trying to get the submission. Eventually, he does. He locks in this this crazy ass like double arm variation, right? He locks in this move, right? And all you see Ichi do just tap out. He just said yes. He gave up basically. He made him verbally give up. Again, it's an incredible match. And it's one of those things now where it's like, what happens from here? You know, it's good to know that New Japan has these working relationship with the other promotions such as Rev Pro and Ring of Honor and CMLL. And it's crazy to think too that a couple years ago, Zack Sabre Jr. was in the Cruiserweight Classic, and they offered him a deal to WWE, and he turned it down. And I'll be real about it. Seeing what he's doing now in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Think about this too. Last year, Zack Sabre Jr. won the New Japan Cup. He tore it up in the G1. I think it was the G1 from 2017, and it was Zack Sabre Jr. and Kota Ibushi. Those two guys tore it up, and both guys turned down WWE, which is good to see because look where they're at now. I will say this too. I think, you know what? There's a possibility that Zack Sabre Jr. could be challenging Tanahashi for the world title down the road. And I'm for it. Why the hell not? Let's make it happen. We get the another triple threat tag team match for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Titles. You had LiJs, Sanada and Evil versus God, Tama Tonga Tongaloa, and the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. It's a fun match. Every team here got their moment to shine here. But eventually, though, it was all said and done. You had Sanada and Evil, who won Tag League, right? They ended up hitting the Magic Killer, and then Sanada went for a moonsault to pin Matt Jackson. So essentially, if you notice here, right, members of the Elite here, they're getting swept. When you think about it, they got swept, right? Marty Scurll or Hangman Page took the pin in the pre-show match, and now here you got Matt Jackson eating a pin to lose his match. And it's one of those things again. It's good to, it's cool. It's good for, LIJ. You think about it, LIJ early that night, Shingo and Ibushi won the IWGP Junior Heavyweight titles, tag titles that is, and now here, Evil and Sanada once again IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. So it's a good night for LIJ. I will say that right now. We then go to the IWGP US title match, Juice Robinson versus Cody. Cody came out sporting the Jacksonville Jaguars colors. It's funny too because on commentary, Kevin Kelly and Don Callis and the other guy whose name I forgot already, who I thought did a very good job translating from Japanese to English, they referenced AEW. They referenced that Cody's going to a new venture as a promoter and all that, and they were praising it. So the idea that New Japan mentioned AEW makes you think that, hey, maybe, just maybe, when you think about it, mira esto, look at this. We could be seeing a working relationship between AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling. We'll see. Veremos, we'll see. But the match, for what it was, honestly, like, you knew the writing was on the wall when, again, Marty or Hangman got pinned in their match. The Bucks got pinned in their match as well. The writing's on the wall here. Like, you knew going in that Cody was not winning the match. It wasn't a bad match at all. They've had better matches in the past. I'll say that. I thought their match from Long Beach was better than this. But other than that, it was okay to see. Brandy got involved. She speared Juice Robinson. She got on top, started throwing punches. Tiger Hattori kicked her out of the from ringside. And it's one of those things where, again, all of that, and Cody tried to hit the crossroad for a near fall, and eventually was all said and done. Juice Robinson hit not one, but two Pulp Fictions, two of them, for the 1-2-3, and becomes, once again, the IWGP US Champion. And now Cody goes off on his venture, becoming, I guess, a promoter or vice president of AEW. So we'll see how all that goes. But other than that, I thought this match was okay. I think they go crazy for. But the writing was on the wall that Cody was going to lose this match. Let's be real about that. Other than that, too, even someone like Juice Robinson, when he left WWE to go to New Japan, I thought it was hilarious. Oh, he's now a young boy all of a sudden. But you know what? He stuck to it. He was dedicated. And look at him now. He's one of the top stars in New Japan. And the idea that, hey, WWE wanted to bring him back, he turned him down too, it says a lot. It says a lot. And you know what? I hope good things happen for Juice Robinson in New Japan Pro Wrestling down the road. I want to see him one day as the Intercontinental Champion. Hell, maybe even the World Champion. But time will only tell. Time will tell how that goes down. We get Taiji Ishimori versus Kushida. Kushida defending the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. It's funny because Kushida, his entrance to the ring is hilarious. So they bring in a child who is dressed up as Kushida, as cosplay, right? The whole getup, the whole gear, the head, everything, right? And you see, I want to say Taguchi was dressed as Doc Brown, like with the remote control from Back to the Future and stuff, controlling the DeLorean, if you will. And he has the kid stand back, and the smoke comes in, and out comes a grown Kushida, the actual Kushida, whatever. It was cool to see. It was kind of weird. I'll be real about it. I was looking forward to seeing the DeLorean. Like, you think about it, right? Kushida does the same type of entrance at Wrestle Kingdom with Doc Brown, whatever. But I want to see eventually them bring out an actual DeLorean. That's just me, of course. As someone who is a fan of the Back to the Future, movies, what have you, I want to see at least Kushida at a Wrestle Kingdom bring out the actual DeLorean. I'm just saying, all right? Or the hoverboard or something like that. The match, for what it was a fun match. Just good back and forth stuff here. The idea that we're seeing Taiji Ishimori, who again was in Impact Wrestling, was in Noah, getting a shot at the title at Wrestle Kingdom was cool to see. And all that is good, back and forth. And it was all said and done. Bone Soldier was able to win the championship with the Bloody Cross, which is his single underhook double knee face breaker for the 1, 2, 3. So that was a shock too, the fact that Kushida lost. You think about this too, right? Kushida, Wrestle Kingdom 11, lost to he lost the title to Tanahashi. Last year he lost in that fatal 4-way to Will Ospreay. And now here he loses to Bone Soldier, Taiji Ishimori. And again, there's talks of Kushida going to WWE. He might be making that jump. Again, you think about it, he lost the belt. Not just a coincidence, but also it's a possibility. He could be going to WWE. Honestly, I don't want to see it happen. I don't, but at the same time, because for a fact, when you look at someone like Kushida, again, arguably one of the aces, if you will, of the junior heavyweights in New Japan. You bring him to WWE, yeah, you can get a good match, I guess, from the likes of a Rollins, of, let's say, a Finn Balor, if you will. The list goes on, but for a fact they're going to put him in 205 Live or NXT. Not a bad place to go to NXT, but the last thing I want to see is him being relegated to 205 Live. Let's just assume for a minute he does go to WWE. Again, it's hypothetical talk, but there is talk that WWE wants to bring him in. So let's see how all that goes down as time goes on here, okay? We then get Jay White versus Okada. This match, for what it was an okay match. Okada came back out wearing the shorts, no longer wearing the pants. Jay White came out in all white. And I'm going to say this too, for this match, for what it was. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that Jay White got the win. You guys know me already. Jay White really isn't my cup of tea. It's not that I don't hate him, because I don't hate him at all. I think he's a solid talent, okay? I'm just not sold on him yet. I'm just really not. And you can just tell that New Japan has big things planned out for him. The fact that you have him beat Okada in the Tokyo Dome. The fact that Okada is being relegated to wrestling Jay White after wrestling numerous times Tanahashi, and then Kenny Omega, and then Naito, and then Switchblade Jay White. I'm not saying it was a bad match. Okada got his moments in. He tried to hit the Rainmaker numerous times, and Switchblade Jay White found a way to counter it. There's a good back and forth, and eventually it looked like Okada went for the tombstone, got a near fall, was going to go for the Rainmaker, and then he got countered into a Blade Runner for the 1, 2, 3. And that's what shocked everyone. The Blade Runner and Okada didn't even kick out. How many times have Okada kicked out of the High Fly Flow or the Destino or the One Wing Angel, and yet he couldn't kick out of one Blade Runner? But again, like I said before, you can just tell that they have big plans for Jay White. He'll probably be competing for the world title down the road. We'll see how that goes. But again, don't be surprised if in 2018 they start pushing Jay White to the moon. It's bound to happen. You can just tell it is. So at this point, just get ready for that. Don't be surprised. I'm just saying over that, okay? But Jay White got the win. Then we get the Intercontinental title match. We have Chris Jericho defending the champion versus Tetsuya Naito. This match became a no disqualification match. These two guys beat the holy fuck out of each other. Jericho obviously now doing more of the brawling style. He's like the Bruiser Brody now, I guess, of New Japan Pro Wrestling. And there's a spot where Naito does a pile driver on the stage of the Tokyo Dome, right? And you hear the thud of Jericho's head hitting the stage. And also, Jericho returned the favor eventually. He pile drove Naito onto the tables by the commentary or whatever. And you can just tell in Japan, the tables aren't as soft as they are in America, if you will. It didn't break at all. But you see like Naito standing head first after he got hit with it. And I thought, Naito broke his neck. But again, just a crazy back and forth match. Jericho locked in the walls of Jericho. There was a kendo stick involved, chairs, you name it, right? And there's a moment in this match, early in the match, where Naito exposed one of the turnbuckle pads, right? He exposed it. And that led to him getting the win, where Jericho hits the turnbuckle pad, the exposed turnbuckle, right? And then Naito goes in for the Destino, for the 1-2-3. And Naito becomes the Intercontinental Champion, the title that he despised. Remember, that Intercontinental title, there's a lot of things that Naito doesn't like about, that Naito hates about that belt. Remember, a couple years ago, Wrestle Kingdom 8, Naito was supposed to main event Tokyo Dome against Okada, but instead, the fans voted for the Intercontinental title to take that place. So since that moment, Naito always despised the Intercontinental title. And think about it, right? To the point where they had to make a new belt because Naito destroyed the other one. And I thought for a minute, okay, he's going to destroy it again. And no, it didn't even happen. Like, he threw it in the air. But it then, like, okay, he broke the belt, thing like that. It's funny, too, because after the whole match, I guess at the press conference, whatever, Jericho said that he wants to fight for the world title. I mean, the idea of a Tanahashi and Jericho? Why not? Now, as far as Naito's concerned, maybe him and Jay White at this point in juncture. We'll see. But again, Naito got the win, and he's once again the Intercontinental Champion. And then we get the main event of the evening. We get Kenny Omega defending the championship versus Hiroshi. We got Kenny Omega defending the championship versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. This match was amazing. Everything about this match was fucking amazing. It's Kenny Omega, who's representing the new movement, if you will, of New Japan, versus Tanahashi, who's the old guard, who is still considered by many people the ace of New Japan. He's not a fan of what Kenny Omega is doing with New Japan, or he's not a fan of Omega's vision of New Japan. While Omega says in his eyes, Tanahashi is still the old guard that doesn't know how to get out of the way. And these two guys had a crazy back and forth match, just near falls after one another. There's a moment where Tanahashi does like a dragon screw from the top turnbuckle, and you can really thought that, oh my god, that Omega fucked up his knee. It's funny too, because what made the match even fun is Don Callis on commentary. Don Callis on commentary was pro Omega. At the same time, even in the Jericho match, he was pro Jericho, putting over Omega and Jericho in their respective matches, right? And it's funny because there's a moment where I guess Okada, my bad, I keep saying Okada, I don't know why. I'm just accustomed to seeing Okada and Omega, okay? But Tanahashi sees the table literally at ringside, and he looks like he could easily use it on Kenny Omega, but he chooses not to. And you see Don Callis talk about, Tanahashi's a hypocrite, all that stuff he was preaching for nothing. And again, it's a crazy back and forth. Omega does multiple V triggers. Tanahashi does the sling blade. You name it. There's a crazy back and forth. These two guys beating the fuck out of each other. This match went about almost 40 minutes. You had the Young Bucks outside the ring. Omega does the suicide dive that he usually does at every single Tokyo Dome. He gets that crazy good camera angle view, all that. There's a moment as well where Tanahashi does the high fly flow onto the table that was outside where Omega was laying on, and he missed. He completely ate the table. There was a moment too where Omega could have won by countout, and on commentary they referenced that. Don Callis and Kevin Kelly. They referenced on commentary they could have won by countout, but he didn't. He chose to put Tanahashi back into the ring to continue the match, and that kind of cost him. Because eventually, when all said and done, there's a moment too where these two guys were slapboxing each other. Slapboxing, just back and forth. But it was all said and done, though. The ace rose against all odds, and he hit multiple high fly flows. He eventually countered the One Wing Angel. And at the same time, I'm kind of happy that Omega didn't hit the One Wing Angel, because it's just real about it. The last thing you really want to see is them, I guess, disrespecting the move by having Tanahashi kick out of it. Even though they also referenced the fact of the last time they met was back in 2016, I guess, where Omega beat Tanahashi to be crowned the new Intercontinental Champion after Nakamura vacated the belt and went to WWE. But it was all said and done, though. Tanahashi is once again the IWGP World Champion. And then he cut this like post-match promo, thanking the fans, how he's back, and all that, basically. And it makes you think now, what's next for Kenny Omega? And it's funny because on the podcast, on this week's episode of the TML podcast, we did talk about where Kenny Omega can go and how at this point in juncture, it's not that he needs these companies like AEW or WWE or Ring of Honor or New Japan. These companies need him. That's what it is. And I'm hearing rumblings that, Fox is pushing WWE to sign Kenny Omega. So these next couple of weeks are going to be very intriguing to know where Kenny Omega is going to end up. But at this point, I'll say that I feel like Kenny, at this point in juncture, has done everything he could have done in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So let's see where he goes from here. Now that Tanahashi is the champion again, even though I did say that, hey, I did want to see Kenny Omega retain the championship, going to the MSG show as the champ. But you know what? You could do, I guess, Tanahashi and Okada for the title. If you wanted to at Madison Square Garden to, hey, have those two guys wrestle a match at MSG for the fuck of it. Why the hell not? But time will tell. But overall, I did enjoy myself. I thought Wrestle Kingdom 13 was a very, very good show. I strongly recommend it for the main event, for Ospreay versus Ibushi, and hell, even for Naito and Jericho, if you really wanted to, again, just to go out of the way to watch, if anything. But overall, again, an enjoyable show. Give me your thoughts, as always, in the comments below. Your thoughts on this show, if you enjoyed it or not. Or if not, let me know on Twitter at HeelSteven. Thank you all for watching this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And as always, hate, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, y'all, it's Steve, and I'm out like Janice Titties. Peace out, mother flowers. In Tokyo Dome! God, I always wanted to say that. I really, really did.